50 and say Best Choice, or go to bestchoiceroofing.com/radio today.
The closer we are getting, the more bets we have available.
Rush Hour with Danny Burke.
But let me talk about a couple of guys that I do have a little bit more faith or confidence in betting one side versus the other.
Weekday afternoons at 5 on your home for VEASAN, 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is a beautiful Thursday. It's also windy as all get out, and so it makes the temperature feel about 20 degrees colder than it actually is. Get ready. We're in for some of this over the next few days. Got a lot happening on the show. We will open the phones around 4:20. I'm told they're working, and we'll be ready and raring to go. And text-wise as well. Let's start in Murfreesboro with Mr. Positive, Kelly Holcomb.
Thank you, George. I'm a little bit of Tony Robbins to you, I'm sure.
Kelly, we have
energy.
We have breaking news.
What's that? Have we got our breaking news sound? Oh, hey, that's a good-looking shirt, dog.
I think it is too.
That is the best one by far ever. That is a good-looking powder blue.
I like
it.
So this is the shirt that everybody will get when they participate in the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. By the way, if you haven't signed up, I could use a few, let's call them singles, that we can fit onto a team. A single costs $200, and you can simply email me if you want to be a part of this, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Kelly will be one of the celebs. Billy.
What is Billy? Is he handing out shoes, hopefully?
Maybe he'll throw out some shirts. Terry McCormick will also be a celeb in this thing.
Billy can hand out shoes. He can get people drinks. He can cater to folks. That's what I'm looking for Billy to do.
Hold on. Let's put Billy on camera as well. Billy, would you be good at that?
I think I'd be good at it, but I just want to watch Kelly bowl under 100.
I won't bowl under 100. I promise you.
Is there a scenario perhaps where there would be an illegal wager?
I'm going to wager
the two of you.
I'm going to wager that Kelly bowls under 100.
Okay.
I think it would be better just to be a Kelly versus Billy.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Yeah,
I can do that as well.
That's what I'm looking for.
I can do that as well.
You owe me a steak dinner if I get a better number than you.
Every time I go, though, I just try to talk and worm my way out of bowling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, last year you had no interest in bowling.
I didn't. Well, I'd done something to something another on my body, my mangled body. I think it was my ankle was messed up, so I couldn't do it.
I heard
I talked my way through it.
I heard it was sciatica.
It probably was.
And Terry, there you are. Yes. What level of proficiency do you bring to bowling?
Not as much as I used to. I'll just say that.
Really? Okay. What would be the highest score you've ever had?
198.
I am one below you. Highest I've ever had is 197. Kelly, what about you?
I had a 201 one time. I was jacked.
Billy, have you ever gotten in triple digits?
Of course. What kind of question is that?
Well, I think it's, the fact that you can't give me a number.
I mean, I think I've bowled over 200.
I don't believe
you think?
that for a minute.
That doesn't sound convincing.
That sounds really, I think I'm a millionaire. Yeah, well, good. Good. Glad to hear it. Terry, what is going on? By the way, tell people this is a fun event.
It is. It is. Lots of good things happening, and all for a good cause.
Here's the thing I'm most proud of. Before everybody gets there, from 3 to 5 p.m., we will have 128 underprivileged kids from Cottage Cove Boys and Girls Club here in Nashville and the Martha O'Brien Center. They'll each get one of these priceless shirts. Don't ask me about the retail value, but I do think it looks good. I'm pretty fired up about it.
I agree this year.
Yeah. We feed them. They bowl, they get a shirt, and then we have Christmas presents for them on the way out. That's what fires me up.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully the presents don't contain any of those hideous yellow shirts that you gave out the first year.
He's still trying to get rid of them. They might, Terry. They might have a couple of those in there because he's still trying to get rid of them. Nobody wants
I
them.
really don't appreciate that. I liked them. I don't give a damn whether you all like them or not. In fact, just because of that, Kelly, I may force you to wear one of the yellow ones.
I ain't forcing me
Kinda
to do
like-
nothing else.
Kind of like somebody in prison, that you're the one person that has to wear yellow. I'm thinking about it.
That team that you've had me on for me to be their celebrity, they might not have me for the night. I may leave.
Okay, on to Terry's award-winning, don't ask me what award, Daily Titans Update. Terry, of course, Main Street Media. He is TitanInsider.com. So what inside news do we have today?
Well, got a few guys back at practice after they missed yesterday. Jeffrey Simmons had a rest day. He's back. Calvin Ridley was out with an illness yesterday. He was back. And Sebastian Joseph Day, who missed practice yesterday with a biceps injury, was back, along with Kenneth Murray, who was nursing a shoulder injury. Still a few guys out, though. Roger McCreary, not out there for a second straight day. He's been battling a little bit of a knee issue, but it hasn't kept him from playing so far. Then the other three guys are probably not going to answer the bell this Sunday in Houston. That would be Tajay Spears, who's in the concussion protocol, Leroy Watson, still dealing with a back injury, and L'Jarius Sneed, whose quad injury is turning out to be a never-ending issue for him.
What's going on there?
Well, Brian Callahan told us last week, it was initially a guy, he took a helmet to the thigh, caused a bad bruise there. And they thought, well, it'll just be, a few days. They did not anticipate him missing any time, really, it didn't seem like. But then it was very slow to heal. And once the bruise finally cleared up, they also discovered that the quad had a strain in it. So he's on track to miss his 6th straight game here with this injury, George.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. I mean, the only good thing that's come out of this, the fact that, he and Chidobe Awuzie, who should be back on the practice field next week as they try to open up his window to return from a groin injury. The only positive maybe that's come out of those two guys being out is that they've kind of been able to figure out what they have in Jarvis Brownlee, who was a rookie 5th-round pick, and Darrell Baker, who was picked up off waivers from the Colts. Those two guys have not done too bad, considering everything that's been thrown their way, and, that they were not expected to be starters, but here, over the course of the bulk of the season, they have been in the starting lineup. And Denard Wilson Day was very complimentary of Darrell Baker and said that Jarvis Brownlee is certainly getting a lot of experience and doing well for the most part.
Okay. I know that you pay attention to baseball stuff. These two clowns are poo-pooing my gut feeling that this Tampa Bay thing is serious with the Rays. What say you?
Well, I think that, just like the Oakland situation, they're going to exhaust every avenue possible to try and keep the team in the Tampa area. But also like the Oakland situation, if they can't get the Tampa Bay, I don't know if it's the St. Petersburg City Council or the Pinellas County Commission, whatever government body it is that they have to get to, give these funds to help, pay for this $1 billion stadium. If they can't do that, then the Rays are going to have no choice but to look for somewhere else to play. And if they look for somewhere else to play, Nashville would be as good a spot as any. Isn't there an executive who used to be with the Predators who works for the Rays?
Used to. Jeff Kogan. He has since retired. He was the number 2 man there. And, it's a good point. Okay, so you're kind of with me. This deserves some paying attention to. We've got Paul Kennedy joining us from Tampa here in just a few minutes. These two have poo-pooed the whole thing, and my reaction to that is this. Nah.
Well, let me ask you this, George.
Yeah.
Because you probably have a lot more insider info on this than I would. If the Rays show interest in relocating into Nashville, is your guy Dave Stewart going to try to get involved in that the same way he was trying to get involved with the White Sox? Because the Rays owner, Stuart Sternberg, or whatever his name is does not appear to be inclined to sell the franchise.
No, I'm told that Sternberg and our former governor, Bill Haslam, know each other.
Interesting.
Leave it at that for now. See ya.
All right. Have a good one.
Tomorrow. Same time. No, not the same time. Same place, different time.
Same channel.
Thank you. Well said. Billy.
Yes.
Yeah. You have an update?
I do.
Does it have any worth to it?
It's got some worth to it.
Okay, that's good.
A lot more worth than Kelly's bowling. But anyway, it's brought to you by...
We'll see, little man.
I'm not losing to you, Kelly.
If I had to put my money on somebody, I'm putting it on Kelly.
What?
Absolutely.
Kelly,
I think he crushes you.
Kelly sucks at bowling.
I think he crushes you. And if I were to put the two of you in lanes next to each other, I think he would you would be a beaten man before you ever rolled a ball down the alley or into the gutter.
Kelly's too old for the mind games. He can't do that anymore.
I think he could.
Are you serious, Billy? Are you serious? I give it to you every day, constantly.
Yeah, but we're not competing, really. I mean, bowling, I can block that out.
You're a loser. You're a loser, Billy.
I think there's a way to work this out. And by golly, I'm going to figure it out.
All right. Anyway, let's get to the update. It's
brought
to
to
you
by
by Lori
something
Burnett Leland. You can find her online at mortgagelady.usa.com or give her a call 615-969-4350. Well, the Preds lose again to the Kraken. They get shut out 3-0. Shut out for the 4th time this season. They dropped to 1-2 on their 5-game road trip. They're now 6-11-3 overall through 20 games. They return home Saturday night for a 6 o'clock puck drop against Winnipeg.
Last night's game was on TNT, and between the second and third periods, in the second period intermission, Paul Bissonnette ripped them.
As he should have.
I don't know what's wrong, but if you play your way out of contention by Thanksgiving, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't wish this. I like Andrew Burnett, but if this continues, there's going to be a coaching change.
Really?
That's what it's looking like.
Well, I mean,
it's gotten to that point, George.
Well, if you've got a team that you think is a deep run in the playoffs contender, and you have the lowest point total in the NHL, what do you expect?
Wow. I don't know, man. We talked about chemistry yesterday. They just don't have any chemistry together?
I don't pretend to know what's going on. I wonder if they've tuned him out. I don't know. I am not smart enough in the hockey world to figure that out. But what I do know is this ain't going to cut it.
Thursday night football, Steelers travel to Cleveland, play the Browns. Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. Bad weather is expected tonight.
What kind of bad weather?
I'm not the meteorologist. You're the
Are we getting a little
meteorologist.
snow action on the Cuyahoga River?
It's either rain or snow, Billy. It's down to two options.
Well, it depends on how cold it gets if it turns into snow. I'm not.
Well, it's cold here. It's probably
I don't
cold
know
there.
if it's going to snow or not.
Boy.
Billy, grow up.
I say bad weather and expect Georgia. What kind of bad weather?
Is
Bad
that
weather.
not a fair question?
I don't live in Cleveland.
You live in Cincinnati. Remember when Sam Weich did that one?
Dude, Billy, Google that. You don't know what it is, but yeah, I do. That's pretty funny.
You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
Steelers have never won a road divisional game on a Thursday night.
Meanwhile,
0-7 all time. 0-5 under Mike Tomlin.
Not tonight. They're going to win.
I'm going to go out. Yeah, I'm going to go out on the ledge and say they get their first one tonight.
We'll see. Jameis Winston could be his moment.
Okay.
Last night in action, Buffalo beats Eastern Michigan 37-20, and Toledo got pummeled.
Oh.
Ohio 24-7.
Led 7-0 at the half and just gagged it. Took the big old Heimlich.
You know, you say sections are always available.
There
that
were.
looked like a pretty decent crowd last night. When I watched a little bit of that. Anyway, Georgia Tech hosts NC State tonight. Boy, Wolfpack, their fall from grace. They're supposed to be a borderline playoff contender, according to some people. But
it has been massive.
McCall goes down. He's retired from football, so no Grayson McCall tonight. Georgia Tech, 9-point favorites.
I am assuming that Haynes King plays because when he does, they're way better. He's a really good quarterback.
Yep.
He can run.
Got some good college basketball all day today, but Vandy and Tennessee in action. Vandy playing Nevada at 6:30 on ESPNU in the Charleston Classic. And then Tennessee playing Virginia down in the Bahamas, 8:30 tonight on the CBS Sports Network. So be a good night for college basketball. Got some MLB notes as well. And according to Fox Sports, Major League Baseball will test robot umpires as part of a challenge system during spring training at 13 ballparks, hosting 19 teams, which could lead to regular season use in 2026.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I'm all for that.
We've been talking about it.
Yep. You knew it was coming.
Yep. Also, for Commissioner Rob Manfred, with the conclusion of Diamond Sports Group's bankruptcy, he came out and said, I think the good news is that we did a pretty good job in terms of maximizing the economics for the clubs. We never lost a game, and we have a lot of flexibility come 2028. But the hope for the MLB is to have roughly half their team's broadcast rights to negotiate with companies then. The league's ultimate goal is to hold linear and digital rights for all 30 clubs to have available for negotiations with networks.
After the break, we go to Tampa and we talk with my buddy Paul Kennedy. Some of you will remember Paul has Vanderbilt ties. He was once the University of Alabama's play-by-play voice back in the 80s. He is the pre- and post-game host for the Tampa Bay Lightning down there. He will join us and kind of give us his thoughts on what is going on with Tampa and what might that mean for Nashville, Tennessee. This is 94.9, The Fan.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, you need to call Bart Durham. And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com. 456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegretta, voice of Vandy Football. Hope you can join me, Norm Jordan, and Kevin Ingram this Saturday from Baton Rouge. Vanderbilt and LSU kick off at 6:45. Pre-game coverage starts at 5 on 94.9 The Fan.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville app. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Desperado. Wow. Nice start. And it continues, apparently. We go down to Tampa, Florida by phone. We're going to talk to one of the most talented people that I've ever run into in the broadcast world. An absolute stud when it came to being a marketing and promotions director at Vanderbilt very, very early in his life. In his mid-20s, went on to be the play-by-play voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, is now involved with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He is the one and only Paul Kennedy. Paul, how are you?
I'm losing all my highs and lows. Ain't it funny how the feeling goes away? I'm singing Desperado.
I know, and you've done it well.
What a great song. George, I've never been on a station as big as 94.9 The Fan. This is a great moment in my life to be with you.
At this point, you're full of bull, but thank you nonetheless.
George. Happy Thanksgiving a week early, a week from today.
And to you and your family as well. Kelly, I got one for you that you may not know about, Paul.
Okay.
Paul and I may be the only two people alive who saw a Vanderbilt running back, Frank Mordica, rush for 325 yards against Air Force.
Wow.
Coached by an Air Force team, coached by that defensive genius, Bill Parcells, who is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Go figure. Remarkable. And the late great Frank Mordica, who went on to serve 20 years in the Navy, had a wonderful life, from Tallahassee, Florida, passed away recently. But for a good while, it was the NCAA mark, and then it was the SEC mark, and it's since been eclipsed. It may have been eclipsed at Vanderbilt, but I've always held him with a very special place in my heart. And this year is the 42nd, this week, I think it was Monday, the 42nd anniversary of that game. Norman Jordan was there. You were there, and Dudley Stadium. It'd be longer. It would be 1978. So what would that be? That would be, geez, George, that's
46 years ago. Good Lord.
That's
Man,
a lifetime.
That is desperado right there. So normally I want to hit a bunch of different things with you, but today I want you to tell our listeners what is going on in Tampa with the Rays, because I think ultimately if it really goes south, Nashville, Tennessee better perk up its ears.
Well, unfortunately, and I speak of a soft place in my heart for Frank Mordecai, but I also have a very fond place in my heart for the stadium, for when it came into existence in 1988-89, and they opened the doors for the first time. I happened to be there and hosted the very first event when we brought in all the dignitaries and sporting heads and team owners to christen that stadium. I was there. And in the second year of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Jerry Helper, who used to be an executive with the Nashville Predators, helped create the wonderful franchise in Nashville. We played our hockey games in that stadium.
I had forgotten that.
Yes, we set the first year. We set in the first home game the NHL 100-year record for attendance. The Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning. We had 25,000 people there. The league had never had a crowd that big indoors. And I did the game with Denny Potvin. And we went from an expansion team to going to the playoffs for the first time in 1996 in that stadium. And then came baseball. And for better or for worse, it has been the home of the Rays until the past few weeks when Hurricane Milton, we had 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks, and the roof, which was a fabric roof, had held for 3 decades. It was torn from the rafters, and really damaged the stadium. And I was by there the other day, and the roof is an erector set. It's just steel with no way to protect it. And there's no great drainage system in there. And thus, it's unplayable. And this stadium, which people used to criticize and bewail, in Florida in summer, when you're playing indoors and it's 72 degrees, air conditioned, and the games start on time with no fear of rain, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I always thought it was a wonderful place. I'd done the Marlins for years, and we would be drenched at 5 o'clock every day in Miami by either rain or perspiration. But in doing those games, it was wonderful. And the brilliance of Stuart Sternberg and who he had hired to run the franchise. They went to the World Series. They've had phenomenal success. Have won the division with the Yankees and Boston repeatedly with a small budget. I mean, they were the initiation of the analytics. I'm getting around to my final point now. They are going to have to play this year in the spring training home of the New York Yankees, which is located in Tampa. And that's because Hal Steinbrenner, George Steinbrenner's son, has made that available to them. And that is one of the very finest spring training facilities in all of baseball. But it's just that, a spring training facility, outdoors, in the heat of summer, exposed to the elements, 82 home games, but it's only for a year. And that means at this time next year, they're going to be hopefully either with a roof on or looking for options. And I don't know, I'm not privy to the conversations. I don't know if they're one and done. I don't, but I do know this. Our network, which is now FanDuel Sports Network, has had their television rights since the franchise began. We have been televising all of their games every season. And we will this year, but it's many things are up in the air. And if you go online and follow, they had just reached a deal to build a new stadium in St. Pete, next door to Tropicana Field, or as it's known here as the Trop. And then because of elements, the natural disaster that it was, the bond elements, some of the political aspects of this, that's now on hold. And so we're really trying to figure out where we're going to go after this first spring and summer coming up in the summer.
Paul, let me ask you this. What went on this week? Is that a surprise to the Rays?
With the bonds and what have you?
Yeah.
Well, Georgia, I don't know if it was or not. Again, they brilliant people, but we're talking about a great deal of money to build a major league stadium, and to do it in a way that you're protected from the elements here. Now, Stuart Sternberg, a couple of summers ago, was looking at sharing Montreal with this city of Tampa, trying to get some leverage on building a new stadium, but I don't think that the other owners would have approved that. I don't know if you would have an interest in Nashville. I don't know. You would best talk to him if he would. I know there's some people that have been very faithful. The division has been very faithful. They're trying to make them successful here. And it comes at a time when Tampa and the city of St. Pete, where it's located across the Howard Franklin Bridge, across the Gandy, on the other side of the bay, are both dealing with the effects of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. 2 hurricanes in just over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Decimated the city, billions of dollars. And so to sit here and say, well, I guess they're going to check out too. I don't know. Where is Nashville with a ballpark? Where would Nashville be uniquely positioned, George, to be able to embrace a major league franchise in a couple of summers?
Paul, in 2 weeks from yesterday, I'll have Mayor Freddie O'Connell on. He has made it clear that with the city building the Titans, the new Dome Stadium, that they're pretty much tapped out. And so Dave Stewart, who appears to be trying to bring a team here, we've heard things involving the White Sox.
Pitcher Dave Stewart? Is that the pitcher Dave Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Former Governor Haslam appears to be the other person that's sort of throwing his hat in the ring. Both of them know full well that they're going to have to participate in the funding of a ballpark. That's a huge up in the air question right now, that while those of us who want baseball here have been babbling about, we're going to get a team, probably an expansion team. But right now, I don't know the first thing about building a ballpark. There's nothing on the horizon that suggests it's going to happen.
Whitey Herzog, when they built that, the Hall of Fame legendary manager, when he was at the show I hosted in 1989, said, "You have built a white elephant because baseball will never come here." Well, for all that he could envision, Whitey in this case was mistaken. And because baseball did come, and it was successful. The crowds could be bigger. They could be bigger nearly everywhere, with the exception, say, of Dodger Stadium, Yankee Stadium, and Boston. But again, I don't know what they do and about building a stadium. The conundrum is it has to be done in a year. That roof has to get covered again. It is a fabric roof. But if you go online and look at the pictures, or you go online and read the Tampa Bay Times, and there is a columnist there by the name of John Romano, Romano, John Romano. He did a fabulous weekend piece on the situation with that stadium, financially and politically. It's a Sunday-long read, but it was exceedingly well done, and shows you, again, the conflict that they are in. Now, on any city council and with any mayor, they're not spending their own money. This is OPM. This is other people's money. Bond money, financing. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Unless you're the owner. When they say, well, owners need to spend more. Well, okay, well, that is Mr. Sternberg's $200 million that you want to put up. What are you putting up? He says, well, we're going to put up the public's X amount of dollars. We're going to float a bond worth in a public obligation of Y amount of financing. So for which the financiers will be profiting off the bond issue. So that's
Kelly,
where we are.
Yeah. Kelly, you've been quiet so far. Say hello to Paul Kennedy.
Paul, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, wonderful to hear your voice.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was just looking and I was thinking when y'all were talking, and I know all of it boils down to money and they've got to have the money to fix it. But like, what else happened? Obviously you can see the roof, but, and I know that it was a deluge of rain from those hurricanes, but like, I know there's no drainage you talked about, but did that get into like locker rooms and things underneath the stadium, or what all happened?
You would know. You have experience in stadiums, and there's no field drainage. Well, to handle exterior rains as you would find on a grass field outside, because that's not an issue. Yeah, but it creates all sorts of issues internally in dugouts, locker rooms, showers, facilities, executive offices. They were all headquartered where the Tampa Bay Rays, Kelly, in this one building.
Yeah.
And it was all under one roof. And there are some, with accompanying John's article, are some pretty disappointing pictures of once the roof came off, what the winds were able to do and the rain was able to do. And so, and I would imagine there's going to be mildew mitigation and drywall mitigation. It just hammered it. Yeah. And so you're dealing with all of that, and you're uncertain as to exactly what it will cost to rebuild and replace, and even going as fast as you can. And you haven't reached a definitive cost quite yet, and the insurance cost quite yet of what the insurance company is going to pay. And if you can imagine, say the insurance company comes to your house and says, okay, Kelly, with the damage we see $150,000 of damage here. Well, exponentially, look at a stadium, and what is the insurance carrier going to do when it looks at that stadium? Are they going to pay $250 million for the loss on this? If I'm the insurance company, I'm not quite certain that I'm going to immediately do that. And that's where we are. If it sounds like I'm uncertain, well, I'm just the tip of the iceberg here of uncertainty. I've always had the obvious, Kelly, a firm grip on the obvious, but not in this case. Not in this case, man. I don't know what you do. I really don't.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Paul, and that brings up another question that I was thinking about. So if everything was in the stadium, because major league ball clubs, all these professional teams, they work year round. The people in the front office. So where have they relocated to do their day in and day out, routine of having a business?
Very good question. I don't know where the brick and mortar is now. As irony would have it, 2 years ago, their spring training home, which is about an hour south in Port Charlotte, Florida. If you've ever come down to on spring break to go fishing or to hit the golf ball down there, Port Charlotte, just south, is where they built their spring training facility. And that was blown up. And they had to play their spring training games in Tropicana Field. They really never had spring training. They had to play it here. Maybe they've gone there. I do not know where they're operated out of now. I know Mr. Sternberg is his business is in New York, and as is George Steinbrenner's. They're unrelated. Hal Steinbrenner. I don't know if they're sharing the Yankee facilities. A significant amount of the staff for the New York Yankees year round offices in Tampa. And in this day of computer and the like, when you can be anywhere at any time immediately, you don't necessarily have to be.
I've never thought about what you said, but that's an unbelievable thing when you talk about the weather, because I was down there for a training camp one time, and it always rains, and it gets really hot after that. It's always humid, but it gets really hot after it rains. And for a baseball team to be inside, that was kind of genius to do. And I just think in a place like, I know the Bucks are a little bit different, but like, I would think a baseball team down there would have to be inside like that, because you like you said, you got a controlled environment. It's 72 degrees. You don't have to worry about the rain. But if you have an open outdoor stadium like that, that's going to be tough.
It's going to be nearly impossible. It was in Miami, and I know you played in what was Pro Player Stadium, the home of the Dolphins, right?
Yep.
In South Florida. But there's a difference in playing in autumn or playing in June and July.
Big.
We played in June, and I'd come back to the press box from being down at the cage before the game. I mean, it was beautiful the way it was laid out in the stadium, decorated for baseball. It looked like a baseball park. But I'd come there, and I was literally drenched. We took batting practice in T-shirts and shorts. It was like the day before the game. Because we couldn't handle the heat. Now, there is nothing better at all in baseball than afternoon day baseball on grass with sunshine. Don't you think? That is we'll go to Wrigley, we'll go to your favorite stadium. Where is it? Where's the greatest place you ever saw a baseball game where you sat out there and soaked it up with your sunglasses on? Do you have a place like that?
I don't. I'm a football guy. George is a baseball guy. So I've been to an Atlanta Braves game before. It was kind of hot when I went the last time I went to a Braves game. So that's probably the only place I've ever been major league wise.
Suck it up. I mean, come on.
I grew up in D.C., and I used to go to RFK. And on a nice day in RFK, when it was 55 degrees, 60, and the sun was shining, even in sweater weather, that was heaven. Name a stadium, outdoor, the old school outdoor, not necessarily in the elements when it rained or what have you, as it would in San Francisco in the fall. You could almost be guaranteed to be in a bit of moisture. But I always love that. But again, you're guarding for your market. It's difficult to get mom and the children to go to a game when the elements are against you. Well, they're going to be against them this fall. And the Yankee Stadium holds 11,000. To the Steinbrenner family's credit, it was a heavy lift for them, but they're going to turn over this stadium to the Rays and let them play there. Joan and I, my wife, we went to a spring training game of the Yankees in March, just before the regular season started. And it was so close to the regular season, the Yankees were wearing their pinstripes. And it was on a Sunday, and they were just on a hockey game the night before, a Lightning game I had hosted. And we went there, and the place was packed, but it was already getting hot, hot. And like flirting with 90 in late March, upper 80s.
Oh, wow.
And they were in their pinstripe. Yeah. So now, the instructional league, or short A, not instructional league, but short A in baseball, they play half of baseball's minor league teams are here in Florida, and your single A team for the young men that come right out of college and some right out of high school, they come here and they play in the Florida State League, and they play every day starting in June. They play every day at noon to get the game in before rain. But you're playing every single day, and they're separating the wheat from the chaff right away. And you bring in a lot of Latinos from the Caribbean, their first experience in the States, but it's every day at 8 o'clock. Now, I mean at noon, but you're racing. You're not playing under the lights. You're racing the weather every day.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, do this for me. Let me go to a break and then bring you back for about 5 more minutes if you've got the time.
Sure, George. For you and Kelly, anything.
Listen to
I'll just go over
that.
here and sing the rest of Desperado.
Desperado. By the way, back at the station, let's play that again for Paul. Maybe we can get him to sing it. This is 94.9, The Fan. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com. Are you concerned about the Medicare Part D changes for 2025? Believe me, you're not alone. You need to contact Pancoast Benefits. They'll make the changes clear and easy to understand. Trust Pancoast to guide you through it all. Their knowledgeable team is here to help you understand the updates and make informed decisions about your Medicare coverage. Don't navigate these changes alone. Call Pancoast Benefits today at 615-292-3400 and choose option 3, or visit pancoastbenefits.com. That's 615-292-3400 and choose option 3.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here. You thought you were on your way. Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Sing along, Kelly.
George, I can't hear the music.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? Down from your fences before
listen
Paul
to that.
sang it for us.
That's Paul Kennedy. Paul
Yeah.
Kennedy has been a sportscaster down in Florida for years. In his early days, was an absolute stud marketing and promotions director at Vandy. Went on to be the play-by-play voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide in the mid-'80s. I brought him on to talk about the Rays and the situation going on in Tampa. But I got to ask this, Paul, before we let you go. Apparently, a really emotional ceremony when Steven Stamkos came back to Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what that was like.
Well, let me say this first. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I was going to ask you, how is Steven doing getting settled in there? He and his wife, in my close to 50 years in sports and in television and media, I've been many places. I would say he is the finest. He might be the finest person I've ever met in professional sport.
Wow.
Here. Well, we had him from his very first game, his rookie year, when he came to us back in 2008. A gentleman, stand-up, high-character individual. For 16 years, a captain for 10. His peerage is unequaled. And then due to the salary cap more than anything else and the financial constraints with which each franchise is required to conduct business, there was an opportunity for him to go to Nashville. And with Sean Henry there and Bill Wickett there and Barry Trotz there, who is first class, they all are. This was a golden opportunity to extend his career. No one will ever wear his number here again. They will build a statue to him outside our arena when all is said and done. He is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. And he may not have the numbers that he would want or fans would want, but those will come in a long season, and they'll come quickly. But there is no finer individual that I can imagine. Nobody finer. Now, they're of his pedigree. But as a player who's gone from being a teenager to in his 30s now, that is as good and as filled with integrity, he and his family, as you will ever meet. And so that's what I would say about Steven Stamkos. And we do miss him here in so many ways. We honored Andrei Vasilevsky, the goaltender, the other night for winning 300 games, and they put former teammates up on the Jumbotron, and they all offered their congratulations all throughout the league. I must tell you, and you can answer this, who got the loudest roar in an arena of 19,000 when he said, "Hey, congratulations, Vazzy," and up came his face, and he started talking about him. The place thundered for Steven Stamkos. I can't, in this short time together, I hope I've rambled with some sense of propriety and giving it the honor it deserves. But he's the absolute gold standard for the National Hockey League.
That is awesome to hear. Paul, thank you for taking the time to come on. I'm going to send you a bowling shirt like I did a year ago, so get ready. There'll be something in the mail soon.
I am so ready. I'm going to have to get the bowling shoes out of the closet. So here we go. Size 10. I'm ready to rock and roll, George. Thank you, Kelly, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Hey, Paul, you'll like the color of the bowling shirt a lot better than it has been.
Wow.
Well, it has been a bright yellow, has it not?
No, it's powder blue this year. It's a lot better.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
Kelly's been very negative. Has not been the good teammate he should be.
It's being honest, George. It's not negative. It's being honest.
I know it is.
I think it's being you got to be able to handle the truth, George. You can't handle the truth.
Apparently, I can't.
You can't handle the truth.
Hey,
nice.
I'll talk to you soon. Oh, he is one of the best. I'm telling you, Billy, I was in school when Vanderbilt hired Paul as a marketing and promotions director. And I'm telling you, for about 2 years, that sucker filled a bunch of seats. Really talented. But broadcasting was always what he wanted to do. And to say the least, he did it.
Talented.
Did it really well. We'll go to the break. Stat of the day, which I need all the help I can get. This is 94.9, The Fan.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket. The Predators win! Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators take on the Winnipeg Jets this Saturday at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. The Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night is set for Monday, December the 2nd, here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center at 3436 Lebanon Pike. The proceeds go to two really worthy causes: Last Minute Toy Store and the Martha O'Brien Center. It costs $200, and it's a night of fun you'll never forget. If you'd like to be a part of it, simply email me at plastergeorge@gmail.com for a night you'll never forget.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. They're going to get rid of that dark cloud after the season. I said it last week, and this is step 2, and he's going to be that step 3 when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Because you're going to have a total rebuild. You cannot have a 41-year-old quarterback by the name of Aaron Rodgers who has seen his best days go out the window, go out the door. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Sean, what is that cliche that you heard the top one used to describe white athletes, my friend?
The first time my best friend saw my oldest boy run a fly ball down in center field, he immediately said, "That boy got to have some black in him."
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Stepping up the music today.
That is iconic right there because, Billy, you can check out anytime you want
but you
can never leave. Don't you ever forget that.
Well, don't you ever forget, it's been a bad week for Stat of the Day so far this week. It's brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. They've got 3 locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to their website, applecollisioncenters.com.
So you're saying that our attempts have been simply a car wreck?
Well, I mean, they've been subpar.
Well,
They've had a lot of NFL, had a lot of football questions.
Kelly, do you have a thought for Billy on that?
Yeah, that he needs to be quiet, what I thought. Just call it. Just say Apple Collision Centers, give the Stat of the Day info, and give us the question, and then be quiet. We don't need anything from the peanut gallery. That's what I thought.
All right, here we go with Stat of the Day as it processes on our screen. I don't know why I'm having so many issues with the slides, but I will verbalize it at the moment.
Oh, gosh. Visual learner, Billy. I've told you this.
Here we go. Stat of the Day. Where are you? Chris Sale becomes the most recent Braves Cy Young winner.
Ah, yes.
Who was the last Braves Cy Young winner? That's a layup.
George. He said it was a layup.
Well, he can say it all he wants. The last one.
I'm checking out on this one, George.
Oh, hold on a minute. Because, okay, let me ask real quickly. It's not Smoltz or Glavine or Maddox, is it?
It's one of them.
Last one would be Greg Maddox. Let's go with Greg Maddox.
You, sir, are incorrect.
Tommy Glavine. Wow.
That was the last one?
Yeah.
98.
Yeah, they had a run. It was something like 5 Cy Youngs in a 7-year period or 4 in 6. I mean, it was
wow.
It was absolutely insane.
So that was a layup, Billy. You thought that was a layup for you. You would have gotten that one if you didn't know the answer.
I'm just George being the biggest Braves fan on planet Earth. I thought he might get that one.
I know, but I got to take up for George. When you get put in this spot and it's right here on you, you got to answer it like in a minute and a half.
You guys are acting like you're in the torture chamber.
We're not in the torture chamber. I'm just saying, like your brain does a lot of stuff and it just goes blank sometimes, and you get the answer and you think it's all easy and it's a layup. Shut up, Billy.
Yeah, shut up. Mine did that when I would get to the final exam. It did that a lot. I can go ahead and tell this story. I was initially going to be an econ major at Vandy.
Oh,
and
wow.
we had the green and orange and white book, Econ 100. And, I think I know how to deal with numbers pretty good and balance a checkbook and all that stuff. But they got into micro versus macro.
Yeah, that's when it was over.
And it was totally over. And so they hand out the final exam. I take one look at it, and I just said, I got to find a new major.
Did you raise your hand and say, do you get credit for your name?
Yeah, I think you get like 3 points for your SAT score if that happens. But, Billy, Kelly's right. You just need to shut up.
Oh, that's a little aggressive.
Well, it is a little aggressive, but until you're put in this position to see how tough this can be.
Don't just follow with Kelly's words. I mean,
Billy, when I see you at the George Plaster Celebrity Bowling, I don't know what I'm going to do when I see you.
It could turn violent.
Yeah, I may not want to show up.
Okay, we welcome all of you into the 4 o'clock hour. As you can tell, the three amigos, boy, we're really close, aren't we? I'm the one in the middle. If you're watching the podcast, I'm the one with the radio face. Former NFL quarterback Kelly Holcomb and young William Derrick. It is time now for Underdog picks.
Yes.
Are we still having this part of the program?
Yes, we are. Billy is the commissioner, and let me make one thing clear. Okay, it's not out of any honor or anything deserving. I didn't have anybody else to toss it at. Now, Billy tries to sound like his family's proud of it. They have no reason to be proud. Being commissioner is just simply the last man standing.
Well, I'm
Billy.
also in the competition as well.
Well, you are because of a little bit of a station.
An early season.
Yes.
Have you taken Pogue's points away? Have you done that yet? Are you keeping them? Because that's the kind of dude you are. You'll keep them. We know that.
I mean,
we get it.
Pogue told me I could keep them, so I
Pogue
kept
didn't
them.
tell you anything.
Yes, he did.
He
said,
didn't
"Go
tell
ahead,
you you
keep my
can keep
points."
anything. You're the commissioner, so you should say, "I'm not keeping this. I'm going to hold
Why does
the
it-
moral. I'm going to have the moral high ground, and I'm not going to take Pogue's points. I'm going to start this thing anew, and it's my points."
Why does this concern you, Kelly? Are you
Because
trying
I
to?
suck right now, and I'm trying to bring you down with me. That's why.
That's what I thought.
I will say your point total is embarrassing.
And I helped you with Syracuse last week.
Well, hold on. We have to review. Don't give away any of the stuff.
Well, you
Billy,
said it yesterday.
Well, I did. You're right. Billy, act like a commissioner.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for you to shut up. Here we go.
Hold on. Hold on. I signed the checks in this deal.
You do. That's a fair
Kelly,
point.
I think he's forgotten that, hasn't he?
He has. He's forgotten who holds the red pen, Hoss.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, enough of that. Here we go. Let's review from last weekend. My pick, Tennessee. I felt good about it.
By the way, if you're going to get fired, it'll be on a Friday.
Why is that?
Well, because by Monday, nobody remembers.
Oh, right.
Trust me, I know.
2 days
from
passed.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. After that, let's get to review. My pick, Tennessee. Again, I felt pretty good about it. Georgia ended up winning 31-17. So, ho-hum, whatever.
Did you really feel good about that pick, though? I never thought, Tennessee was ever going to win that game.
I thought this Tennessee team was different this year. I thought they could go down there and knock them off, but
Well, first
Georgia
of
is
all,
still
it's
Georgia.
no embarrassment to go down there and lose.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but Tennessee fans are kind of
Yeah,
they're
I know.
disappointed.
I don't blame them when you're up 10-0.
I mean, you go up. I felt great after they go up 10-0, and then it's tied 17-17. They just didn't make any adjustments at half.
Didn't make any plays come fourth quarter.
Kelly,
Moving on
to Kelly. This was a good pick. Kelly, Arkansas kept it close, but Texas did just enough to win in Fayetteville, 20-10. Quinn Ewers and company get it done at Donald W. Razorback Stadium, or Reynolds.
How can you say that was a good pick? They lost. It's
Well,
all
you've
about
been
winning and
getting
losing, Billy.
You've been getting blown out here, Kelly.
I haven't been. I had one game where I got blown out, Billy. You act like I
You've had
have
a couple.
sucked this year.
You've had-
I get that. I had
So
one
it is-
bad game.
I mean, you had to be sitting here watching this one.
So what you're trying to do is suck up to Kelly. It's sort of this moral victory crap.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Kelly wants some points taken away from me. I'm trying to become friends with him.
Billy, it's called silly underdog for a pick. I've had one bad game this year. The rest of my games have been pretty close. But for you to say that, you need to shut up once again.
There we go again. All right. Moving
And
on
now
to
to the
George.
gold standard.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Syracuse won 33-25, and they were, what, a 10-point underdog?
9.5.
9.5-point underdog against Cal.
So
what the heck,
here's
Cal?
the deal. They were up big early. That score is no way indicative
Yeah, it
of
was over
how
early.
much Syracuse dominated that game.
That was not even close.
George, can I get a low Chicago on this with the hand that I was dealt? You know, I can get to split the hand with the low Chicago. Can we
Do
go half?
What?
The low Chicago, the low spade in the low spade in the card deck. If I get that, I get the half the deck. So can I get half the deck? So you got 9.5 points. Can I get 4 3/4 or something like that?
You know what? If this continues where you're not even well, you're not competitive. We may have to.
Uncompetitive.
We may, what we may have to do, Kelly, and this wouldn't be a proud moment for you, is allow listeners to pick for you.
Hey, I'm good with that this year. I am totally good with it.
I did that one year. It got so bad. At this point of the season, one year, I was 0-14. And, I mean, it happens. You play this long enough.
But, I mean, you got 14 chances. You got to find a win or two in there.
It's not that easy.
So sometimes it happens that way. And I'm telling you, man, this is the worst season I've ever had. And I've been doing this now I've been retired for I've been doing it for 17 years. And this is the worst season. I've only got one win, Billy. Crazy.
Ridiculous. All right, let's do a little look at the standings here. George up there at the top with 37 points. I'm at second with 23.5. Kelly in third with 6.5.
Whatever.
6.5.
Yep.
Who cares?
So, Kelly, if you were to take UTEP this week.
Oh, my gosh.
I would get in the competition.
That's ridiculous.
Something really good could happen.
Is there even a line on that one?
Yeah, 41.5.
Yeah, take that, Kel. All right.
No.
Let's take a look at this week's order. Leading off, George Plaster. I'll go second. Kelly will go third. Gentlemen, are we ready to go?
What the hell else do you think we're going to do?
Oh, don't give me that attitude.
I mean, this is where we pick.
Okay.
Do you have music ready?
We do.
George, you know what's good about all this is Billy's finally growing a pair. He's standing up to me and you, which is a good thing.
It took about...
It's needed.
What?
Needed.
Okay, act like a commissioner.
All right, I'm acting like a commissioner. Leading off, George Plaster.
Your leader.
Your leader.
Hey, Kelly?
Yes, sir.
I got a little stat for you. I don't know. Did I use this yesterday?
Probably.
There's only one Division I school that has not scored more than 21 points in a game this season. Who is it?
Division I school, is it Group of 5? It's probably Kent State.
Oh, no. No, it's a big boy. It's a preseason national title contender.
Really?
Preseason.
Florida State.
Yes.
Yep.
Florida State.
Florida State. Wow.
That's embarrassing. Just like killing. No, okay.
Wow. So you're looking for a winner? There's a winner in town, and at the moment you're listening to him.
Oh,
UCLA, baby.
UCLA is getting 5 points at home against USC. 9:30 Saturday night. It's a decent pick. UCLA.
Billy,
well, first of all, go ahead, Kelly.
Billy, that's what happens when you let George get a little confidence, and he just acts obnoxious, and that's what he is.
By saying there's a winner in town, and you're listening to him.
Just obnoxious.
That was one of the great lines. Buddy Ryan, when he took the Arizona Cardinal job, got up at the podium and said, "There's a winner in town, and you're looking at him."
Oh my God.
He sure did. And then he got fired a few years later because apparently the winner in town went away.
Oh. All right, I'm up next. Let's hit the music.
John Deere Creek. On a hot summer night, he wrote Billy Bob Loves Charlene.
Billy Bob. All right. I thought about a few different picks this week. Virginia plus 10 at home, 11 a.m. kick against SMU. SMU hasn't been in this spot in a while. Minnesota at home against Penn State.
We don't need to
getting
hear
11
all
and a half.
your strategies. Just
Vandy,
pick a winner.
But I ended up going with Virginia plus 10 at home against SMU.
Good Lord.
That's a good pick. SMU's 9-1. They're bound. Virginia's been sneaky this year. They beat Pitt, I want to say, a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to go with the Cavaliers of Virginia at home plus 10 against SMU. So that's what I got. Up next, Kelly Holcomb.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
Thank you, George.
All right.
It's time for a Thanksgiving half-pound hoedown.
Good stuff. Billy, I like your Minnesota Penn State pick. I do. You know what? I'm going to do this. I mean, I've got to pick stupid picks now at this point. You got to get 10 points or more. I'm going to say that Sunbelt Billy gives Ole Miss their third loss of the season at home.
Wow.
They played well last week. Lagway played good. He's still got them playing hard. That's a tough place to play. Let's pick
kick.
Florida.
So
I like that.
Kelly riding with Florida plus 11 at home against Ole Miss. 11 a.m. kickoff. They're down in the swamp. That crowd should be revved up, ready to go for the Florida Gators. All right, let's review. George riding with UCLA plus 5 late Saturday night at home against USC. I'm gonna go with Virginia plus 10 at home against SMU.
SMU's going to rout them.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
You just wait. Kelly riding with Florida plus 11 at home against Ole Miss. Gentlemen, I like the picks. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, whatever.
It means a lot if you like them, Billy.
Spare me your...
Florida, by the way, plus 320 on the money line. That's a lot. What are you laughing at, George?
I can't think of the word I'm trying to use here.
You have another senior moment?
No, spare me your platitudes and bromides.
What in the world?
Okay. After the break, we're going to do a couple of things. These are not good times in Nashville professional sports, are they? We're going to show you a little graphic that's going to tell you exactly how bad it is right now. But most importantly, I'm looking for phone calls. I'm looking for texts, whether it's a question, a comment, whatever. We tried to do this yesterday, and it kind of blew up in our face because the phone lines weren't working. I'm told they are working, so hit those phones now at 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. Billy, if somebody wants to text in some platitudes or bromides, how do they do that?
You got the chat room to the right of the YouTube stream. If you're watching right there, just type in your question. I'll get it to the guys, and then you can do the same on Twitter and Facebook as well. We'd love to hear from you.
Get ready. This is 94.9, The Fan.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, you need to call Bart Durham. And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Are you concerned about the Medicare Part D changes for 2025? Believe me, you're not alone. You need to contact Pancoast Benefits. They'll make the changes clear and easy to understand. Trust Pancoast to guide you through it all. Their knowledgeable team is here to help you understand the updates and make informed decisions about your Medicare coverage. Don't navigate these changes alone. Call Pancoast Benefits today at 615-292-3400 and choose option 3, or visit pancoastbenefits.com. That's 615-292-3400 and choose option 3.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company. Our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegretta, voice of Vandy football. Hope you can join me, Norm Jordan, and Kevin Ingram this Saturday from Baton Rouge. Vanderbilt and LSU kickoff at 6:45. Pre-game coverage starts at 5 on 94.9 The Fan.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville app.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
I am fired up. We have got loaded phone lines. I want to take a new call right off the bat, and that is Tyron in Brentwood. Maybe Tyron, but I'm not sure. Tyron, are you there?
Yes, I am, Hall of Famer. How's it going?
You know what? I like your style.
Yeah, it's been a while since I talked to you, man. I'm glad to finally see that you're on 94.9 and good to be with you again. Always honor and privilege to talk to you, living legend. Just a couple of things I want to throw out. I am very concerned about the SEC this weekend, George, because I think actually the next couple of weeks, I think the committee is ready to stick the middle finger to them, if you know what I mean. And I'll just go with this. If Florida beats Ole Miss, they're out. And in 2 weeks, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's just say Georgia Tech upsets Georgia, they're out. I mean, it's getting to the point where it was just preconceived notice that they're going to get 4 in, and if a couple of things don't kind of go their way, they may just be looking at 2. And I know that sounds asinine to say, but I don't think the committee's that impressed with the SEC this year. I think they're more impressed with the Big Ten, and I think it shows that. And I'll leave you with this, George, and I'll ask you this. If Florida beats Ole Miss and beats Florida State and wins their bowl game, does this coach save his job?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's done. Yeah, and I think he got an assist from the whole Todd Golden mess in basketball. I think the AD said, Kelly, I don't want to have to deal with 2 coaching changes in a 3-month period, and can you blame him?
Plus, the way that they beat LSU the other day, I think he's already kind of saved his job. I think it would be just a notch on his belt if he got another big win from the schools that he talked about. I think that would be huge for him, but I don't think they're going to do anything with him. I think he's got another year.
So, Billy, he threw out Ole Miss loses to Florida. Yep. Georgia Tech beats Georgia. To me, he's missing one that might throw one out, and that's A&M doing it to Texas and giving them one of these.
Yeah.
Not this.
There's
but
that.
And Vandy could put the silencer on Tennessee too, even though Tennessee's
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that could go on these last couple of weeks because all these teams have 2 losses except Texas. So man, they don't have any room for error.
Maybe Sankey had a meeting with them and they didn't genuflect. I don't know. I'm just saying. Hey, before I go to Eric, put up the graphic that you so proudly spent some time on. This is how bad things are in Music City right now. Look at that. The Preds, in their first 20 games, have had 12 games where they have scored 2 or fewer goals. So things are not good in Predland. And the Titans, they've won 7 of their last 25 regular season games. That is Music City misery.
That's bad, George. 7 of 25 games. I told you to begin the season, they've got to get over that loser mentality because it becomes habit when you start losing games, just like when you start winning games, and then they've got to overcome that, and they're just, man, not very good right now.
Eric in Nashville, you are next on 94.9 The Fan.
Hey, George, you forgot about Nashville SC.
You know, I limited it to the 2 because I knew Billy would charge me overtime if I brought them into it.
Well, George, I was just messing with you, anyway. But I'm going to get to 2 main things in a minute. First of all, I like Cleveland tonight against the Steelers. I tell you what, Steelers, usually what happens when you come off an emotional home win, you got to go on the road in a short week. It wouldn't surprise me if they lose, and they've got a horrible record on Thursday night. So it would not surprise me if the Steelers get beat tonight, but we'll see. But George, the 2 things I wanted to talk about, in fact, I was going to talk about yesterday. First of all, I want to talk to you about Dalton Connect for the Lakers. I'm so happy for him, the way he's playing. If he keeps it up, I think he's got an excellent shot at Rookie of the Year. There are rumors that Lakers still may try and trade for Big Man. I'm not a Lakers fan. It's just going to be interesting. And I'm hoping going forward, he gets far more coverage than a certain player's son, but I don't have a whole lot of any hope for that, but we'll see about that.
Well, LeBron's son
is in the G League.
Is in the G League.
G League.
And I think he's going to spend most of the year in the G League. And I think that was sort of
heard the way they're
only playing in home games.
The way they're doing it. Yeah. They're rotating him back between that and the Lakers. And how can he develop that way? But he's not going with the G League on the road. He's going to be on the Lakers bench at home games, which makes no sense to me. And it's like, what are we doing here?
Well,
the last
when Daddy's name is LeBron, things can
nepotism.
happen.
It's called nepotism.
Yeah. It's one thing if he could play, but it's bad when he's not playing well. So, but I'm not going to get into more of that. And George, as far as the college football playoffs, yeah, you're definitely right. It's because I've heard people talk about the fact you've got Illinois, which is not that good for 25. You've got the whole thing, Indiana. A lot of people think that if they get beat by 40, they should drop out of the playoff, even though they've got one loss because of their just non-conference schedule, which is so bad. They're playing the bottom of the Big Ten, and the people are talking still about Notre Dame, the fact they lost to Northern Illinois, who I think Northern Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, lost to Miami of Ohio. It's just, I mean, it is what it is, so we'll see. Yeah, there's still a lot to shake out, but we'll see what happens. Guys, I'll get off. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, so we got crazy stuff, but are we all in agreement still that when we do get to the playoff, December football on the college level has never been this much fun?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
There's a lot that's going to happen these last couple of weeks. There's a lot on the line for these teams. Like, there's a lot of pressure for these teams that think that they're going to be in the top 12, and they've got 2 losses. I mean, they're in playoff mode right now. Like, if you're in Alabama, if you're a Tennessee, you've got to be in playoff focus right now, because if you lose another game, you're out more than likely.
From Randy on YouTube, Kelly, your pick sucks. Hotty toddy.
I agree. Hey, my picks have sucked. And the way you spell my name, it's already feminine enough, but we don't need an E on that either.
Right.
You know
okay. Kelly.
One question I had.
Randy's my hero. Wait a minute. And you've had an hour to ask questions.
No, give me a break.
Cliff's a new caller, and he's waiting on the line.
Okay, I'll give it to Cliff.
Cliff, welcome to 94.9. You are a new caller, aren't you?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing today?
Good, and thank you for joining us. Tell 10,000 of your closest friends that we're out there.
I sure will, buddy. I love y'all's show. Just got one question. Last I heard, Mike Norvell has not been fired from Florida State. If and when he is, who's the candidate? Have you heard, or y'all mind talking about that?
Sure, be glad to. I don't believe for a minute they're firing him. I think, thank God for him that he went undefeated last season until he ran into Georgia in the bowl game. Kelly, how weird is that? I mean, this guy was contending for a national title, and they are awful.
Awful. I don't understand how you go from where you were and being kind of the hottest name in coaching when you took that job, and then now, like my old expression, they can't beat eggs. They're terrible. They made a huge mistake, I believe, in the quarterback, but like, is that all that's going on down there? He seems like we talked about Jimbo Fisher a couple of years ago. Like even last year, we talked about it having a locker room problem at Texas A&M. Is that what's going on? I'm not sure.
Hey, Cliff, let me ask you this. So Deion put out this big deal about how he loves being at Colorado. If Florida State offered him the job, would he really stay at Colorado?
I don't think so. What do y'all think?
I think you know the answer, although I'm told it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think Norvell's going to get another chance here to figure it out in the offseason, fire some coordinators, and find a new quarterback, of course, and get it sorted out. He already fired the coordinators, I think.
Yeah, he needs to get on to the quarterback thing. Needs to put out an ad. Need quarterback.
Diego Pavia, where are you?
Attention. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what it went on down there, but we are seeing the most obvious example that if you don't get a quarterback who's worth a hoot, you could suck.
You're in trouble.
Yep. Big time.
Yeah. Hey,
How did he get Kelly out of retirement?
Kelly, did you hear that? He
I
wants you to come out of retirement.
No, I'm 51, man. If I got hit right now, I would break. I'm not doing that. Now, here's the deal. I don't have to have much time. I'm going to throw it away or I'm going to throw it to somebody. But, like, if I got hit, yeah, I'm out.
But if you end up breaking, then Randy's right. It's Kelley. Hey, Cliff, I got to run.
Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Call us again sometime.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Smyrna. Frank, you're on 94.9 The Fan.
George, I thoroughly enjoyed that interview with Paul Kennedy. When I'm in Florida, I really enjoy watching his work on, the Rays and the Lightning broadcast. And so that he had a lot of great insight. I did some Googling just now while I was listening to other callers. Looks like the St. Pete City Council's taking up the stadium deal this afternoon, and it's expected to be, I guess, what you would call spicy. And it said the county commission, they've delayed the vote till December 17th. I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this, guys. And I would never, if Paul Kennedy's listening, Lord, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I do not want to see baseball leave the Bay Area. But if they do, they got nobody to blame but themselves down there. The politicians are going to run them out of town. And I can't blame the owner if that's what ends up happening. I mean, they've been trying for years, and it's just been what's the right word for it? Mess up after another to keep it professional. And, but if they do leave, I do hope Nashville can find a way to step up and get that team here. And, granted, I know we've got a new stadium being built for the Titans and our roads need work. I get all that, but oh man, this city's ready for Major League Baseball here in Nashville. I sound like a Torton fan, don't I? And I'm an Atlanta Braves fan first and foremost. But
look, it's going to happen here eventually. What I don't know is it Tampa Bay? Is it the White Sox? Is it expansion? But I'm telling you, it's going to happen. We will talk with Mayor Freddie O'Connell on Wednesday, December the 4th. He will be on the show, so tune in.
Yeah, and Frank's right on the St. Pete City Council voting 4-3 to spend about $23 million to start working on replacing the Trop roof.
Whew.
So,
what a mess. Frank, thank you.
Thank you, guys. And George, come on, man. It's Tom Glavine. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. That's so
Keep it to him,
embarrassing.
Frank. That's good stuff.
You know, I know you'll do better next time, guys. George.
I wish I felt that way, but I'm not sure. Thanks for the call.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go, Tony in Nolensville. Tony, you're on 94.9 The Fan.
Good afternoon, George. I'm going to cover 4 or 5 little things here real quick.
Let's hear it.
Billy, I've been on you hard a little bit this week, but let me tell you something, buddy. If you give up the points, Pokey's points, you're still in front of Kelly.
Exactly.
Tony, I don't need it from you either.
That is beautiful.
You can stay in Nolensville, Hoss.
That's the call of the day right there.
You ought to give them up, Billy. Go ahead. Billy, give them up. And then you've got the advantage of saying, my point now, over you, Kelly.
Wow, Tony. I like
Tony.
that.
Tony in Nolensville is my dad now, not Tony Basilio. I'm just going to take after him.
What, you going to send Tony in Nolensville a resume as well?
Yeah.
And, George, like what's happened down in Florida State, like the song of the Eagles, you can check out, but you can never leave. Down in Florida State, they left. That's where why they scored 21 points.
They have left, which then leads you to once you go MAC, you can never go back.
Oh gosh.
That is true. And covering the Preds, guys, I tell you what's the problem with the Preds. When they started the season off showing that crazy ass commercial with Taylor Lewan shooting a beer, and then I guess that's his daughter shooting a glass of water. I mean, I don't know why they went to a commercial showing Taylor Lewan, who's been gone from here 2 or 3 years, and in essence sued the doctor who performed his knee surgery. I mean, I don't think Taylor Lewan has a real solid name in the city of Nashville, and they had him in their opening commercial for coming to a Preds game.
So you think it's a curse of Taylor Lewan?
I think Taylor Lewan has put the two-tone blue curse onto the blue and gold.
Wow. I'll certainly pass that on as they search for answers. Something tells me they have not thought of that one.
And 2 more things, and then I'll get off here. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, be careful what you wish for. After this weekend, you might not have to worry about the SEC championship game, and you damn sure won't have to worry about the college football playoffs anymore either.
So, you're spicing it down.
Tony's on a roll. I love it.
You just better be careful, Lane Kiffin. And last but not least, yesterday y'all had a question out there, who would win the college football championship? My 2 picks are, and I know you can only go with one, but I'm going to go with 1A or 1B. Alabama or Georgia. Number 1, been there, done that. Defense. Kelly, as you always talk, quarterbacks. They got quality quarterbacks. They got playmakers. And did I say defense? They also got special teams. And once again, defense. They got all the ingredients to be there. And that's what I think it'll be, one or those 2 teams. You look at your other groups, you look at your 4 that you've got that get to bye, not a one of those 4 has been there recently. And you look at the play-in games, I call it the play-in or the first round. The only school that jumps out to me on that is Ohio State here of late.
Yep.
So that's why I was looking at that. So, all right, guys, I thought I'd bring some spice today.
Oh, my God, have you ever?
Love it.
That was
Still in second place. Talk to
love
you.
it. Thanks. Oh, man, he was on fire. Okay, we're going to go to the break. Clay, hang with me. You'll be the first call. Then I know we have a text question to take as well. If you want to get in on all this fun, and in particular, if you're a new listener to the show, I really want to hear from you. 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. We've got lines open. This is 94.9 The Fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in a car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here, we told you not to do this. Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
To say we are having fun today is an understatement. Old Tony brought it.
He
Kelly.
brought the heat.
I liked it.
That was
He got on me,
hilarious.
which I liked it. I loved every minute of it.
Oh, man. Okay, let's start with Clay in Nashville. Clay, welcome into 94.9 The Fan.
How we doing, George?
We're good. Who's that in the background?
Oh, I was just coming out of McDonald's. Sorry.
Well, make sure and get a Whopper.
That's not.
That's Burger King, George.
Come on,
whatever.
Come on, George. Good.
Who cares?
Gracious.
Both of them are really good for you.
Big Mac.
Now, McDonald's will get you some fries that are pretty good.
Those are the best fries.
Yes, thank you.
Kelly,
go
doesn't
ahead,
eat
Clay.
McDonald's.
Billy, judging on the press conference today, it sounds like that other than Pavia, that most of the key guys that were pretty banged up, it sounds like coming off the bye week, we're hopefully about as healthy as we could be heading to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I think they're all good, Clay. Obviously, Pavia, he's not 100%, but he's not on the report like he was a couple of weeks ago against South Carolina. And, there's a couple new guys out, but nobody that matters. So, yeah, Clark said they're feeling good. They're ready to roll.
The miracle is that this guy, Kelly, has played the whole season because he takes some big-time hits that
I would not want to do what he does, man. You're absolutely right, George. He takes big hits, but a lot of it he brings on himself. But that's just the type of player he is. He's competitive, and he's just going to go get it.
Clay, go ahead.
What do you, George, switching sports? It is the start of college basketball season. Vandy's got a pretty good test tonight with Nevada down in Charleston in this tournament. I think they're a 2.5-point underdog. Nevada has, I looked at the roster, and they have 5 guys 6'9" or taller, so they're a much bigger team than Vanderbilt.
Really? Okay.
I think I think the 3-ball will have to fall tonight for us to win.
Yeah, I mean, the early going has been really good to get out 4-0, but there are 2 areas that have shown up. One, they don't have a lot of height, as you brought up, and secondly, they have shot the 3-ball horrendously.
Yeah.
And that's got to change,
Nevada,
especially when they get to the SEC.
Yeah, Nevada's a tournament team. I mean, I think Coach Alford is
Steve Alford.
Steve Alford is still there. This isn't a must-win for Vandy, but this would be a big one to get. And if they can play well in this tournament, all of a sudden, and get to the point where they're 6-1, maybe even 7-0. That's going to be hard to win all 3. But you're talking about a potential tournament team at that point.
So Vandy is at 6:30. Am I right?
Vandy is 6:30.
And that's on ESPN2, did you tell me? ESPNU.
Yep.
And then Tennessee and Virginia is at 8:30 on CBS Sports Network.
Yep.
Good hoops night.
Yeah. Got all kinds of action tonight. Belmont last night.
Kelly, by the way, that new phone you bought still sounding great.
I hadn't been on the phone here lately, big dog. I'm going to have to be. I'm going to call George. I'm going to have to be Monday probably.
Oh, wow.
George, I think your maybe it was the day before yesterday when your bet of the day was or stat of whatever you call it. Didn't you say Western Michigan was? Did you take Central Michigan or Western Michigan?
I took the loser.
So Central Michigan.
Yeah. Which seems to be the theme that you all kind of bring up a lot. I don't ever hear – I'm waiting for somebody to call and say, George, that pick last night that won, that was brilliant. I don't ever get that, Clay, but I get a lot of the negative. So my guess is y'all are losing money on this stuff.
Yeah, you and I just kind of follow one another with losing bets.
Well, I got 2 winners for you tonight. Those are coming up, so you just stick around, okay?
Have a good day.
You too. I do have 2 winners tonight.
Let you tell
We'll
it.
see about that. George on YouTube. Do you guys think if Pavia's legs aren't effective on Saturday that Nate Johnson gets some snaps? LSU has a porous run defense, and Johnson has some home run speed.
No.
We
we haven't.
What's going to happen in a game? You never really know.
But if he is healthy enough to play,
he's playing.
They're not going to bag him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Pavia's not going to.
Yeah, until you see a bone sticking out.
Yeah, knock on wood.
It's not happening. Now, could Nate Johnson get some mop-up duty, or could they have a play or 2 in a package of stuff? I guess they could. But they've shown no inclination
to want to do that. Yep.
Yeah, in the first 80% of the season. I can't see it changing now. Kelly, can you?
I cannot. No. He's brought them to the promised land so far, and if he's able to walk and the kind of competitor that you see on the field, if he's able to go, he's going to stay in that game because he gives them the best chance to win the game. But golly, man, the guy's so competitive. I couldn't do what he did. I didn't do what he did or what he does. And that's just who he is. His competitive spirit kind of takes over, and he puts himself in those situations, but he's kind of got a stocky body that he can take it. But as you see, if you keep doing that as a quarterbacks aren't built that way. They're just not, and you're going to get banged up at some point.
Okay, Kelly, you're not with us tomorrow.
Correct.
Billy, why are you smiling? So, give me your vision, your ESP of how Indiana plays against Ohio State.
Ooh, golly, George, I don't know. I hope, like everybody else hopes, that they play good. I really do. I think they will. I think he brought a lot of guys from James Madison with him, and when you get shafted like that and people didn't think you could play, you've got kind of a chip on your shoulder. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a really good football game. Their quarterback is kind of the same way. Nobody ever believed in him, and he brought him in, and he's played really well. And when you got guys like that, like the Julian Edelmans of the world that people have told, hey, you're not very good, and they go to the highest level and they win Super Bowls because they got that huge chip on their shoulder, there's something to be said about guys like that who don't quit. And I think Indiana's full of guys like that, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if they can beat Ohio State. I just want it to be a good game. I really do, because I think Indiana belongs in the playoffs, and I'm still going to go out on a limb myself and say if they get blown out, they're still in the top 12 because they've only lost one. But I think everybody wants to see a competitive game because I know that the committee that's doing this college football playoffs wants that, because if they do get blown out, then everybody's saying, well, that's who we thought they are, and then it's easy to kick them out. But I know that they want them to play good because they're one of the better teams in the country right now, and they want it to be close so that they can keep them in there and they won't have to answer questions about it.
I worry about when I hear the talk of you got to play it close. That's great for sports talk, radio talk, but if that permeates into a football team, that is loser talk.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they're not thinking that. Absolutely, we're talking about that. They're definitely not thinking about that, and they're going in there to win the football game, as our boy Herm Edwards says. We're there to win the game, So that's what they're going for. Nobody believes it, and hey, let's see if this magical season can keep going.
I can't wait to see if they lose 56-7, what the committee does with that. I mean, I would not. The committee wants a 1-2 possession game here. If Indiana.
Sorry, Billy. I'm sorry. I thought you were almost finished. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if Indiana gets blown out, that's when everything starts to get real. I don't think it happens, but just watch. That committee is going to be put in a blender.
Did we give our national championship picks yesterday? Who we thought was going to win?
No, hold on to it.
Okay,
hold on to it till next week.
Also, real quick, I know we got to go to the break. It's 38 degrees up in Cleveland right now. Snow is falling. It feels like 25 up there. So
Cuyahoga County, and you know who that benefits?
The home team.
It's the team that I'm going to tell you to take in just a moment. Plaster bet of the day. You all can, y'all can poo-poo it, but it's a commitment to excellence, Kelly.
You're so full of it, George. Save it.
This is 94.9 The Fan. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket. The Predators win! Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators take on the Winnipeg Jets this Saturday at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
The Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night is set for Monday, December the 2nd, here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center at 3436 Lebanon Pike. The proceeds go to two really worthy causes, Last Minute Toy Store and the Martha O'Brien Center. It costs $200, and it's a night of fun you'll never forget. If you'd like to be a part of it, simply email me at plastergeorge@gmail.com for a night you'll never forget. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
I'm not going to disqualify them from championship contention this year.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't look at it as a failed season if the Lions don't get back to the championship rounds. If they don't get to the conference championship game or better, I don't think I can call it a failed season because I can't remember the last time the Lions went to the playoffs in back-to-back years. Matter of fact, it hadn't happened in 3 decades. I don't know how you could look at anything they do this year as a failure.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Chris Carlin.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Never heard that one.
You know, for a minute, I thought it was West Virginia, and I was about to,
take me home.
I was about to break out into Mountain Mama.
Country roads.
Take me home.
All right. We got some college hoops tonight. Vandy and Tennessee both in action. Vandy at 6:30 against Nevada. Tennessee later tonight at 8:30 against Virginia. We've also got Thursday night football. Some action, NHL, NBA. We'll see where George is going with Plaster's Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Let's see what happened last night.
Yeah, whatever.
His loss. Toledo got throttled.
Up 7-0 at the half and gagged it. Very bitter. However, it's a new day, Kelly. Time for new victories. We're going Georgia Tech. Okay. And Justin, who comments, go with NC State plus 8.5 tonight. George, not a chance. First of all, Georgia Tech's the better team. Secondly, when Haynes King is ready and raring to go, Georgia Tech is a much better team than when he's not. He will play tonight. Their offensive coordinator, who's a good friend of mine, Buster Faulkner, being looked at by 3 schools: FAU, Southern Miss, Kennesaw State. This is a good time for him to show in a national TV game why he's getting this kind of stuff. We're taking Georgia Tech. Now, game 2, I don't give a damn what goes on in Cleveland. I'm taking the Steelers. And you know why? Because they're better.
I still hate the Steelers. Go Brownies, baby. Let's go, Jameis. Come on. Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Make us proud. Go Brownies.
I'm with
right
Kelly.
there.
I got the Brownies.
Listen, the two of
right
you.
there, baby. Browns, baby. Right there.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, Tonight's winners are Georgia Tech and the Steelers. Tomorrow we'll gloat over those victories, and even more importantly, Kelly won't be with us for Football Friday. Kelly, guess which coach will start the show with us?
Oh, gosh.
Tell me.
Bobby Bentley from Battleground Academy.
Oh, there you go. BGA,
Kelly,
baby. Let's go.
Unlike your school, mine is still in the playoffs.
Okay,
Thank you.
George. What is this? The first time? This is as far as they've been in a while.
Oh, you got that right. You've absolutely got that right. Okay.
Thank Bobby.
For Kelly Holcomb and for young William, who has taken on a lot of water today, George Plaster saying, so long, everybody.